Hello everyone. Today we would be talking about Spearman's two-factor theory. But before that, I just want to explain the syllabus a little bit. UGC NET syllabus for psychology. Intelligence falls under the unit of Unit 6, which is thinking, intelligence, and creativity. Uh, Under intelligence, what they have given is they have given the names of the psychologists who have made those theories, but they haven't given the name of the theories and what kind of theory they belong to. So that they haven't. So I just want to explain very quickly what kind of theories actually they have given. So the first uh, three theories, which is Spearman, Thurston, and Guilford, they fall under the factor theories. Then there is something called, they have given the name which is Das, Carr, and Parilla. They have given the past theory, which is a neuropsychological theory of intelligence. Now they have given Cattell, Jensen, Sternberg, and Gardner. Now these four fall under the cognitive theory, and all of them have different names, which is Cattell's fluid and crystallized intelligence, Jensen's theory of mental functioning, Sternberg's triarchic theory of intelligence, Gardner's theory of multiple intelligence. And then they have given Goleman. Goleman has given actually emotional intelligence. So now let's start with Spearman's two-factor theory. So what did Spearman talk about? According to him, he said that each intellectual activity involves a general factor, which is the G, and a specific factor, which is S, which basically belongs to the activity itself, only the activity. Suppose, I'll give you an example. There is a person who gave a English test or Hindi test or mathematics test. Okay, two things, English tests and a maths test. So that person would be using for English G plus S for English. There's a general factor and there will be a specific factor just for English. Again, for maths there will be a general factor plus S for maths. This G and this G are the same one because it's a general factor. Whatever that person does, there will be a general factor involved, and whatever that particular work is, for that particular work there will be a specific factor involved. Now Spearman said that the general factor G in a person depends on the amount of cortical energy. Now what is this cortical energy? Cortical energy is basically the cerebral cortex. So the general factor depends on the cortical energy present and the maximum quantum of this is fixed. So this cortical energy is fixed. The maximum amount is fixed. And how much this person can utilize this energy depends on certain areas. One is motivation, one is the available environment for that person, and another is the previous experiences. Now let's just delve into this for a few minutes. Motivation. If the person is going to play basketball, now for basketball, he's going to have a general factor because that general factor is for every activity he's doing, and then there is a specific factor which would just be for basketball. Now suppose this person is going for basketball practice. Now, this is his third year. But that day, his motivation level of going and playing is not very high. So, again, the kind of playing he does, it would be dependent on the motivation. Suppose the environment isn't very nice. Suppose the coach he likes that day is not present. So the environment the coach he does not like is there, so he's not very interested in playing that day. So the available environment is affecting. Now I said this is the third year of him playing. So he definitely has some kind of previous experience. So all these factors are affecting how he's playing the sport. Now, what is the S? As I said, specific factor would be for each activity alone. That's it. And the specific factor gives an individual the ability to deal with specific problems like performance in English, like I explained. Now, this performance in English would be, it gives an individual ability to deal with specific problems, but again, we know with that there is a general capacity as well. So, Spearman is saying that the total intelligence or the total ability of a person would be indicated by A. And if total ability or intelligence is A of one person, that means what would it be? There will be a general factor because each person has one general factor plus S1 for one activity, S2 for another activity, S3 for another activity. There would be S4, S5, and so on. And that would be equal to A, which is the total ability or total intelligence for that person. There were few criticisms for Spearman's two-factor theory. Let's get into that. So, what Spearman said that it's actually two-factor theory, but then he's talking about so many other factors like G plus S1, S2. So it does not remain two-factor theory, it becomes so many factor theories. So that was one of the criticisms. And another criticism was S1, S2, S3 are not mutually exclusive. Like for so the argument which was presented, it was something like the nurse and doctor, suppose they have some kind of medical knowledge, so the nurse is not G plus S1, a particular kind of specific ability, and the doctor is G plus S2. It is not that, because we both know that being a nurse and doctor, they have some similarities, not total similarity, but they have some similarities in the medical field. Now, those similarities are overlapping, which means the specific abilities, the specific factors which Spearman was talking about are not mutually exclusive. They overlap and give rise to certain common factors. Now, where would those common factors go? So this was one of the criticisms, and another criticism is that Spearman had focused only on the psychometric approach, which is the he had done the factor analysis technique for measuring intelligence, but he did not focus on the cognitive processes, the cognitive process of perception, the motor abilities, the emotional part of it. So the G factor is not including these parts. So this was another um, criticism for the Spearman's two-factor theory. But Spearman's two-factor theory was actually revolutionizing uh, in the field of intelligence, and it had marked the beginning of intelligence theories. This was one of the first theories of intelligence, and this idea, this criticism which I just talked about, that the idea of overlapping and um, grouping, and there might be common factors, it led to another theory, which is the group factor theory by L. Thurston, which we would be talking about in another video.